waiting for the car to warm up. You probably won't be able to hear a song over this noise of the fans blowing, but I'm just sitting here. It's not that cold out that I need to go inside while my car warms up. I don't even wear a jacket. But there is snow all over my car. I have a spare jacket in here, Mom, so don't worry about it. That sound is kind of quiet. So is it. Maybe my thing's just jacked. I leave it in the car a lot. My volume knob is kind of weird. Ah, there we go. I feel like I want this sound. Nah. Aw, that's pretty. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live stream on Reddit, and I don't know how much I have or haven't talked about this on my YouTube yet, but it was the same night as that interview, which I think I saved the whole interview. Anyway, but my Reddit blew up like crazy. I mean, it's not even that big of a blow, but it was like 4,000 upvotes, which made it so I can suddenly live stream tomorrow. But then a couple days ago, I live streamed on Instagram, and it was people I know, which I guess is Brian's point, that I don't have to decide that I hate live streaming just because I felt really nervous around them, people I know. But to be honest, this YouTubing habit where nobody's looking right now and I'm alone in my minivan and could very well be on tour right now if I wanted to be, could be alone in New Mexico, could be alone in Colorado, could be alone and having a weird dude come out of his house from Leadville, Colorado and join in on a song, could be anywhere, doing anything. I love this, YouTubing and being alone, but knowing that what I'm working through is something that I'm willing to share 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time. Every once in a while I'll watch one of these back and I'll realize that I shared some things that I'm not comfortable having shared, but usually it's okay. Still snowy. I could scrape it off. That's what you do other times of year, but I just feel like being on YouTube. Or just being in my head. Brian went out to see a friend. I haven't been alone in our house in a really long time. If you're someone who's really introverted, you might be really sensitive to other people's energy in your space. I find myself to be both very consuming of the space, I take up a lot of space, but also to be very sensitive to other people's energy in a space, and so I really do feel differently in my skin when I am not in the same space as people. So, or conversely, just different people. It doesn't mean I need to be alone. To be an introvert, it doesn't mean you need to be alone. It just means I think that it's like how they say you recharge your batteries when you're alone. I look at that as the mean way to say it, but I don't think this is what it actually is. The mean way to say it would be that we're drained by people. But I think it's something else. I think there's a very dark and sad twist on introversion. So if you're an introvert and you're sensitive about it, you can turn it off here. But I think it's possible that a lot of introverts are very fake when they're around people. I know I am. One of my biggest fakenesses, ways that I am not myself, is being overly nice. And so I have been in groups and organizations and bands and collaborations and situations where my default setting was constant because of awkwardness, because of not knowing how to be, because of not liking conflict, because of not liking drama, because of a million wonderfully sympathetic reasons. I constantly found myself just like it's like a default setting in the brain. Like if you have a trap door that you would fall down into where you don't know who or how to be, and you don't want to be as turbulent as you actually are when you're around other people because you just don't feel comfortable with your own turbulence, let alone somebody else in the mix of it, then a solution that I find a lot of sensitive people falling into is to just be overly nice. And just every person they talk to is just like, hi, how are you? Oh my goodness, so good to see you. And the weird thing that's messed up to me about this is that when I'm alone and I'm thinking of the people that I was fake around, that I was preoccupied with kindness as a 100% catch-all absolute default setting, when I'm alone and thinking about you, I actually think very highly of you. So I'm not fake around you because of you. I'm not fake around you usually because I don't like you. I'm fake around you because of me. I'm fake around you because I'm not comfortable with me in your presence. Or because maybe when I was a kid, I was burned for being myself. I was made fun of or judged or ostracized or treated like a social pariah or treated like some sort of weirdo misfit when I didn't want to be a weirdo misfit. Who wants to grow up and realize that no one else is doing what they're doing? Who wants to grow up and realize that like your way of like making songs all the time or like being kind of like Mr. Rogers, even though when it was middle school that's just like not cool anymore to talk about like world peace and stuff? Like who wants to slowly wake up to the fact that all their peers are looking at them like there's something wrong with them, or like there's something just annoying about them, or something kind of like dumb, like that's nice kind of about them? Like who wants to realize that? Like it was like a slow awakening when it happened, I think in late elementary school a little bit with one particular crowd of girls, and then again in middle school with a different crowd of girls, and then kind of the rest of my life I never really had crowds. And then when I would have a crowd of girls, it did not go that well. Like in college there was one, that one was okay. I stayed pretty detached from them and I still love a lot of them, but it's hard for me to just be a part of a crew. But then really dramatically doing it again in Grand Rapids, feeling part of something and then realizing I don't actually belong there. That's a complicated story that I don't want to tell right now. Here we go. I'm going to write a song. I'm going to turn this down a little. Doing a little wipers. Almost there. Woohoo! Okay, so I could go run my errand, but I'm just going to make up a quick song to go to the end of that. self-esteem. And I think in the past, self-esteem felt really, 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 really mean to me. I've even seen things in Christian culture that makes it sound like self-love is a dirty word because we're supposed to have love for God. And I know for a fact from how much I've given my life over to this energy of the universe flowing through me that I call God, that I know is God. And you don't have to know that, but that's how it feels true for me. I know for a fact that I also need self-love, because without self-love, what use am I to the creator of the universe? If I hate myself, how am I a vessel for anything? That's a very important thing that I just said. So if you don't have self-love, why would Mr. Rogers have gone on TV and grown an army of millions of people? Or Bob Ross, or any of those people. Like, Mr. Rogers was a Christian. There should be nothing wrong with self-love. I mean, if all you love is yourself, then sure. And if you don't believe in figuring out how to love yourself and then truly and genuinely loving others with the same genuineness, then sure, you are missing the mark. But I have met way too many people who call themselves like empaths or introverts, and at the core of all their kindness for others is a deep disregard for themselves. And that was me for a long time. Wouldn't put my creative projects first. Who else is going to bring my creative projects in the world if not me? No, were you waiting for a phone call or an email for someone to not only do all the work for you, but to just keep encouraging you to do it? Are you waiting for an invitation? People don't know what's inside of you, so they don't know how to invite you to do it. And if you're unhappy because you feel unfulfilled, like you're not doing your own free-spirited creativeness, whatever that may be, something with your home, something with the job, something with the arts, it doesn't matter what thing it is. If you're not flowing with that thing in you that wants to flow like a fountain inside of you, whether you believe it's God moving through you or whether you believe it's yourself and your inner child, it doesn't matter in terms of this topic. All that matters is that you either are blocking it, actively blocking it, or allowing it to flow. It flows on its own. So it's actually a lot of effort and energy to block your own childlike creative flow. Like if a child wants to color a picture, or if a child wants to go outside and run around, that's natural creative flow, and it takes effort to block it. And as adults, we are still the same people as we were as kids. We just have all these scars and wounds that are unhealed. And so those wounds and those scars and those heals are what are wounds, scars, unhealed, whatever. Anyway, that's what's blocking it, I think. Sometimes I get excited, but anyway, I think that's all I have to say. Off to the store. Goodbye.